last Thursday off, but they may be a little more sporadic now. But today's webinar is really something different. It's taking a look at one of our businesses in the greater Beloit area and how they've been dealing with this COVID pandemic. And I think it'll be really interesting to hear from Jeremy. So thanks so much. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump in. I'd like to introduce Jeremy. Jeremy has been with Hormel Foods for 20 years, leading from various positions. He's been the Beloit Plant Manager since June of 2018. Before moving to Beloit, he was the plant manager at the Hormel Foods plant in Algonia, Iowa. Jeremy attended Wartburg College in Waverly, Iowa, earning his degree in business administration. Jeremy, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, Amy, and thank you everybody for joining us today. And it's a great opportunity to present in front of this group. So hope you like the content, have some good questions for us. I am going to take an opportunity here to share our cultural beliefs. So this is the 7 cultural beliefs that we operate as a company. And a lot of times when we start meetings, we tell stories surrounding these. So what we'll do is say safety first. I ensure employee safety, food safety, and safe animal handling practices. Here's what safety first looks like to me. The Beloit greater area has been unbelievably supportive of Hormel Foods throughout COVID-19. Both Lori and Noel with the Department of Health have been able to answer any and all of our questions and have supported us every day throughout this process and this journey of making it through this invisible virus that we are all battling. And I want to reach out and thank those folks for everything they've done for us. And, you know, we will get through this together. And that's what safety first looks like to me. I am going to take just a few seconds here and talk a little bit about Hormel, since I haven't had a chance to interact with the Beloit community a whole lot in the last couple of years. And I'd like to share a little bit about Hormel Foods, that we are more than just the Beloit plant here. We have over 27 locations throughout the United States. Many of them are right here in the Midwest, producing a variety of the Hormel products. Hormel has always been very interactive in the communities of which they operate and helping others in times of need. We do get some nice attaboys along the way with being ranked number 7, the most admired food company in the world. We're pushing on a $10 billion company, 11 consecutive years of corporate best citizens. You'll see us do a lot of work to try to make sure that we're doing stuff right through and being very ethical in everything that we do. 54 consecutive years of dividend increases. So our stock has been very favorable for many of us, and we've got a lot of people that have retired very happy. Earnings growth of 29 out of the last 34 years, and we are a company of approximately 20,000 employees. One thing that here at the Beloit plant that we are very proud of is Project Spammy. And Spammy is a fortified meat product. We can't sell those in the United States, but we have developed this product to fight hunger. All this product goes over to Guatemala, and we're serving families over there. And the results have just been absolutely astounding when you see some of the pictures of some of these kids on their before and afters and how they've actually grown. We do 4 to 5 service trips a year over there, and think about it as a Habitat for Humanity. All of our refurbished laptops, when they're out of use here, go over there and they go to the schools with learning programs on them. Our families that go over on these trips help build schools, paint schools, just spend time with kids. And it's a phenomenal experience. And, you know, what we've discovered over there is, as the trips continue to take place, is that many of these malnourished kids, you might have a 7-year-old or 10-year-old here, they're sitting at 5 foot, and they're standing next to 7 and 10-year-olds over there that are literally half the size in height because of not having the nourishment. And this Project Spammy has really brought a lot of that to them. We've put 30,000 children through this Spammy program. The first one started graduating their schools here in the last year, and we've been able to offer some scholarships to those and bring them to the United States during our Management Council week to give them those scholarships. And many of them that are going through that are wanting to be doctors back in their area. So it's a pretty touching story that really not a lot of folks know about. but we have a lot of fun and enjoyment with it, just within Hormel Foods. Hormel Foods is also more than just a chili can that you see out in front of our plant. And, you know, coming from Algona, a lot of people had the perception that really Hormel only produced pepperoni, because that's what we produce there. But if you look at some of our brands that people might not realize, we also own the Skippy brand. That's been a very successful brand for us, #2 in the category. We do all the party trays. We recently purchased Sadler's down in Texas, which is a lot of barbecue. We're the #1 distributor of authentic Mexican foods throughout the United States and own the brand name Holy Guacamole. We do the Chi-Chi Salsa and La Victoria and the Heredez brands right here in this plant as well. So a little bit more than just chili that some people might have the perception of. We are driven by our #1 brands. We have over 30 #1 brands, or #2 in the market share, of which the Hormel chili is produced here, Mary's Kitchen Hash is produced here, as well as the Hormel tamales. We also do the salsas, and they're respectively 5 and 6 in the category with Chi-Chi's and Heredez. So our plant professionals and our leadership here have quite a responsibility on their shoulders, and are proud of the brands that we do make on a daily basis. A little bit about our plant. You know, we've been here in Beloit since 1973 with a 390,000 square foot facility. During those years, products have come and gone. At one time, we used to do all the completes here. And as that grew, we've actually built a plant in Dubuque, and that's moved out to there. And then we've moved other items from our Stockton location into this plant. Like many plants in the area, we are seeing our seniority go down. We're seeing a lot of retirees, people that had been here, you know, in the 1970s, when the plant was built, are now retiring as well. So we are seeing that go down, which obviously experience is a hurdle that we have to overcome in our process. Diversity, we continue to become a more diverse environment, which is great. You know, the amount of diversity we have in our plant has been phenomenal. You know, we've got, we really are not too bad as far as language barriers go. We've got a little bit of Spanish in here, but our team has really adapted nicely to that, and we overcome those barriers. I think the exciting part, especially here for our community as well, is that, you know, we continue to add jobs here at this location. In the last 5 years, we've increased 25% from 293 to 385. And so that's a good thing, obviously, to be having in the community where we're not going the other way. And our finished tonnage continues to go up. We've got over 200 million pounds of product that leave our doors and go into our DCs and get shipped out to our consumers and customers on a yearly basis. We are very competitive with wages in the area. Just recently went through another contract negotiations for the next 4 years, and I think that turned out very favorable for our employees and for our company. And, you know, we have an intent to be here in the Beloit community for a long period of time. You can see the breakout there in the lower left-hand corner of my slide as well, with 54% of our tonnage is in the chili. So that's a bulk of really what we do. Now I'm gonna, after I got a little plug in for a little bit about us at Hormel, and this is Jim Sneeze, our president and CEO, and we're gonna kick off with him, and leading through COVID-19 is something that we've all been challenged with. And, you know, there was no playbook in this thing. To say that, you know, not only ourselves, but the world wasn't as prepared as we'd want to be, it'd probably be a bit of an understatement. But the one thing I'm very proud of is, you know, being part of a team and the senior leadership all the way to the CEO of our company, that as this started to unfold, we didn't sit idle on our hands. You know, the Hormel's kind of done a very nice job, I would say, of putting solutions into place and trying to figure out how to protect our employees and our brand and food chain as well. So what it's really started with here, and the approach we're taking is, we know that COVID's out there. You can see it as it's moving across the country and hitting hotspots in the area. You know, the whole goal that we've had when this first started happening is, how do we keep COVID out? And, you know, we've had some great team members come up with a fancy stop sign and put a Hormel logo on it, and came up with some things that we knew that were going to be taking place. And how we could communicate to our employees to help keep COVID out our front doors. You know, so a big part of it and a big challenge we face is, you know, trying to convince our employees, you know, don't attend gatherings and don't attend parties. You know, wear your face mask, you know, practice good hygiene as far as washing your hands, covering your coughs, avoid touching your face, etc. And so we've used this as communication tools for our employees. If you go to the right part of your site, you know, your work family is important, but your home family is important as well. And the things that we do both inside and outside of work affect both work and your family. So the COVID Out campaign has been working very effectively for us. As you walk into our plant, you'll see our signs as to keep COVID out. It'll ask you on the next slide, we'll pop to here. You'll see us ask them, you know, how you've been feeling before you even get to our doors, to get people thinking about, you know, how you feeling today, how you doing. And then we go through a health screening process. So we feel that we've done a very nice job being at the forefront of this and been able to help, you know, each plant's been able to help one another. In some cases, we've been able to help other businesses within our communities as well. And our whole goal is to manage strategically through this thing, help our supply chain, you know, throughout this process. And the thing that we've gotten the best feedback on, what we learned very, very early on, is transparency. From the day that COVID had started impacting not really just our industry, but our communities of which we live, we were doing daily huddles of things that we need to be doing. And we tried, you know, as a food company, we're very fortunate where we have had a lot of the supplies at our hands already. We already had a sanitizer, right? Because we already know what it is to make safe food product, and a lot of our cleaning processes were already in place. So we were able to act fairly swiftly in our employees' protection. So we got on with our daily communications. You know, some of that stuff rolled out from our corporate office. Some of that, you know, was developed right here at the plant level. We have virtual town hall meetings for our employees with healthcare from COVID-19 experts from the world-renowned Mayo Clinic. I believe Amy sent all of you guys an invite and a reminder for today. As soon as we're done with this call, I think at 1 o'clock, we're having a third round of our virtual town hall meeting with some Mayo doctors. You guys are all invited to attend that, and you should have the link for that. But it's been really good for our employees to hear not only from us what we're doing, but also the things that we're doing are reinforcing really what's coming from the mouths of our Mayo Clinic doctors. So then we've done daily midday connects for people. Over the lunchtime, there's a group of people using the Teams application where they can get on, have discussions, and there's people presenting on what's going on with all various sorts of things. What's going on with our brands, what's going on with the workforce throughout our company. And just for a little bit of fun in the evenings, as we were all, you know, stuck at home, that we had 2 virtual live concerts. During that time, we were able to raise, you know, $100,000 in donations for relief efforts, hunger relief efforts as well. So we've done some fun things for our employees, you know, so they can interact and have some fun at home when they're away from work as well. You know, so our commitment, you know, to our people, we paid more than $11 million out for 2 special bonuses to our plant team and members. You know, we did get some questions on how we handled our bonuses. We did two bonuses that are structured versus doing an hourly wage increase. And we got some questions around that because a lot of people, you know, throughout the country have been doing a wage increase. And one thing that we found with COVID is we want our sick employees to stay home. And so as we looked at this and our executive leadership did, you know, weighed all the options, we went with one-time bonuses. And that meant whether you were at work or not at work, you were getting a bonus. And we did not want to encourage people any more so to come to work sick and infect others as we tried to flatten the curve. So I thought the executive team did a really nice job and had a great thought process on how we were going to do our bonuses to help our employees out. We have a special pay program that's been put in place. where our employees, if you're impacted by COVID, you get 100% base pay based on a 40-hour work week, to deal with any of the things that might be happening during your time of dealing with the COVID. Continue to communicate with our team members, ensuring they know that, it's okay to stay home. I will tell you that that's not the typical Hormel employee. I haven't missed a day in 20 years, believe it or not. And there's many more stories out there like that with our group. So for people to stay home in Hormel, and be homesick is not the normal. And so how do you overcome that? It's been a sense of pride for our folks. And so there's a lot of times where people are working through the head colds and the sicknesses and the sore throat. And obviously we were learning with COVID-19 that can't be the case. And how do we change those habits? So we've also adjusted, we got a care program within Hormel. And so if a family really gets in a tough situation, we're able to get some emergency relief as well, above and beyond their 100% pay. And so we also, as you talk about short-term disabilities, et cetera, and being, having waiting periods of when you become eligible and stuff, essentially we open that up from day one of our employees, just to make sure that anybody that we had in our plans had been covered under all of our benefit programs. And then to our communities, we try to stay active in our communities. Obviously, we're a food company, and there's a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants that we're trying to survive. So Hormel's, helped in many ways there, but we've donated a lot of cash. We've donated a lot of product. I know I've had several semi-loads out of here that we've been sending around to different food shelves as well. So these are, typically we're looking at $50 million in cash over the last 5 years. So you're looking at $10 million a year. And so we continue to up that. We are, as I mentioned before, we are a food service oriented company, not just retail. And one of the big efforts that we had is we wanted to make sure that as companies or the businesses that chose to do carry out or do takeout or delivery, that we were figuring out how to support them. And we had great support from our company and again, our senior leadership. And so we've actually ordered in approximately 4,500 meals into our facility from some of the various locations throughout town. And they're not all listed on here. Those are just a few. Tilly's has probably been our biggest. They've done a wonderful job handling us on Saturdays and Sundays, and Dunkin's with the donuts. And then a lot of them, it's just been small group carryouts that we have taken to, continue to help our folks that are out there through a tough time. And, as things start opening up, we, hope to see them get back on their feet and get their food service restaurants and businesses up and going with great success, because we do know it's going to be tough. So as we start about, safety in our plans, I'll have some slides coming up here, but, we were quick to get on our innovative, safety protocols, high level of cleaning, and in our particular facility, we've always had a sanitation crew that does a, power wash, 4-step cleanup of all of our standard areas. We've always had an outside contracting cleaning company, for front lobby, bathroom areas, etc. And we've kept those folks fully employed here. I also added 2 people per shift that were responsible for nothing more of walking around our areas and spraying an alcohol-based sanitizer and wiping it down throughout their day. So I can't even begin to tell you the gallons and gallons of alcohol-based sanitizers that we sprayed on our walls and our ceilings and our glass, our handles, you name it. We're trying to figure out how to keep it clean. We also have an on-site healthcare professional for our employees, which has been strategic for us, and it's always been very good for us. And it's not just now; it's really, we have them here. And have always had them here on site. Our employee and safety is not just about a COVID thing, but it's on a day-to-day basis as well. But it's also great to have them here in times like this. And it's always our particular nurse is an EMT as well. So, and then we'll walk through a few of our things that we've done around social distancing. We've staggered a lot of start and break times. We've actually set up zonings. We've built temporary break rooms in our warehouse. So there's break rooms that that each zone go to. So we're not crossing those zones off or across one another throughout their days. They go to their workstations, and when they go to break, they go to their zones for their break rooms, and all those zones are cleaned in between each group going in and out of there. We've got sanitizer bottles, that alcohol-based sanitizer there for them to clean before and after they sit down as well. Mask, face shields, all the PPE we've been able to get our hands on and get them in our people. We've been able to help out some of our first responders with some N95 masks as well. So our purchasing, procurement departments, they've done a wonderful job getting us the tools and supplies that we need for our employees. As we implemented the Keep Out initiative, really is just to reinforce that importance of staying safe and diligent in our preventions. Few slides that we've got. You can see the partitions we put up. We've done a lot of different things. Many of these pictures are pictures that we have here in our facility. Also pulled a lot of the information sharing pictures at what other plants have done as well. So a lot of plastic guardings. You can see those cones are at 6 foot. We have the yellow dots everywhere, and we actually put all of ours at 7 foot. You can see our temperature taking booths. So all of our facilities fab temperature taking booths, which are really, you're surrounded by a plexiglass with a hole in it, and we're doing the radar temperature taking, obviously the full PPE, and you can see some of our signage into effect there as well. Our hand washing procedures, we've always had those in place. We've actually extended that by 10 seconds. It usually was a standard 10, and we pushed that to 20 seconds. In the middle, you can see the alcohol sanitizer at the top. And then on the bottom, that's an atomizing machine. So we can fog all of our rooms and do a surface kill as well. And then microwaves, and those things are getting touched by multiple employees. We've got shields on them with bottles of sanitizer, and our employees are asked to spray those down before every and after every use as well. And again, this is just more examples of things that we've done: social distancing, and how we've, made individual break areas, tables for folks as well to sit at. Face shieldings, PPE, so keep COVID out. That's really been our main things that we've had to focus on, is that we know it's in the community. How do we protect our plants, our facilities, through really all the great procedures that are available to us. The big things is just really working with our employees to get them to follow all the procedures that we need them to be following, and remind them that it's not just a at work mentality. It's that mentality goes home with them as well, and they're staying safe while they're at home. One of the new things we're doing, that you just got them in today, there's a bottle of Purell, and we're sending that home, because a lot of the sanitizers have been very difficult for our folks to get their hands on. So all of our employees are getting that bottle of sanitizer with the Keep COVID Out emblem on it, and they'll be able to bring those in and out of work to continue to replenish them, as needed, so that we know that we're getting alcohol-based sanitizer in their hands at home as well. So, you as a community, and, as our employees, you guys, we understand we employ a lot of people here, and we have an obligation to our employees, both here and at home and in the communities, and yet Hormel's commitment that, we can continue to support in partnership with our area businesses, and anything that we can do to help, that's what we're here for. And we appreciate the trust that you guys have in Hormel Foods. We've been here for a long time, and we want to be here for many more years as well. I do have a video. We do have kind of our animation group. Can everybody see that video?
I cannot see it, Jeremy.
Cannot see it. All right. See if I can get this. All right, how about now?
Yep, we can see it.
All right, so I'm just gonna play a fun video for you guys that we've put out to our employees. just to send kind of a fun message. So that's just some of our animation folks that are having a little bit of fun and trying to get the message across in a fairly simple way, you know, to our employees. And I don't know, we think they do a pretty good job helping us out, communicating that, and we can get that on a loop anytime we want. So they're playing in our TVs throughout the plant. So really, and that's really my presentation for today. Appreciate the opportunity to present to you guys.
Yeah, Jeremy, thanks so much. We did have a couple questions, but in order to kind of stay to our time limit, I think that we'll just try to maybe get those answered on the side. And we did have one comment too, Jeremy, so we'll get that to you as well. Again, thank you so much. And thank you to Hormel for supporting our community. I, of course, love the part about supporting our restaurants. So please continue that, and thanks so much for doing that for the Beloit community. It's so interesting to hear your perspective as a large employer in our community of what you've been going through and what you do for it. So I'm sure it was very helpful to the people on the call. So thank you again. We did share in the question and answer the link to your town hall meeting. So if anybody wants to go into the chat box and grab that quick, you can do that. We can share it afterwards as well. This is a free service, of course, to members and non-members, but if anybody would like to support the chamber by making a donation, we do have that available as well on our chamber website. So again, thanks again to our members, our sponsors, and to Hormel for presenting today. And thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you.